I believe a person should have a dream in their heart, no matter how small or how big that dream is. And if they don't have a dream, they should. Because I believe if you don't have a dream, that you're losing out on one of life's journeys, and that you should pursue that dream with faith and a positive mindset, and that you will live that dream one day. I also completely believe that whatever enters through our minds will go and live in our hearts. For example, when we surround ourselves with positive people and positive information, we will have a positive outlook in life. But when we surround ourselves with negative people and negative information, we will have a negative outlook on life. I want to take a few minutes to share with you what I hope will be some positive thoughts that will fuel your mind. I simply call this Dare to Dream with Positive Thinking. I'll begin by sharing with you what I heard someone say before about people, and that is, people are about as happy as they've made their mind up to be. I think that we all seen that before. Some people are simply happy with just getting by, where there are others who would not be happy if they conquered the whole world. For example, it is said that Alexander the Great, who died at the young age of 32, died with great sadness in his heart because he had conquered the world as it was known at the time, and he was deeply saddened because he didn't have anything else to live for. I personally believe we need to find a happy medium in between being happy just to get by versus Alexander the Great's ambition. You see, happiness varies from person to person because some people are simply more driven than others, and that's okay. How happy are you? Are you happy just to get by, or do you want more out of life? At first I believed I could. Then I believed I couldn't. I was right both times. This has been quoted many times by many different people, but it's true. Change your thoughts and you will change your world. That is, you will change your life. You see, our mindset determines our success or our lack of success. I'm sure you've heard the saying before, you reap what you sow. Well, striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. There's two ways to get to the top of an oak tree. Grab the first limb and climb, or find a good healthy acorn, sit on it, and wait. You see, patience is a fine thing to have, unless you want something done. How quick do you want success? And remember, it's up to you. Are you going to grab a hold of that limb and climb, or are you going to sit on an acorn and wait for it to sprout and grow? The great thing about these two questions is you have complete control of the answer. Just remember, though, it's hard to climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. I had a friend of mine who worked out a lot, and his body was sculpted like a first-century statue. I told him I'd give anything to look as good as he does, and he very respectfully said, "No, you don't, because you only come to the gym once, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes you don't come for several weeks. If you wanted to look like I do, you'd be willing to work out and develop your body like I have." He made a good point. Too many people itch for things they're not willing to scratch for, and it seems too many people are ready to carry the stool when the piano needs to be moved. A lot of people spend half of their time wishing for things they could have if they didn't spend half of their time wishing for them. When I was growing up, I remember my granddad saying, 90% of the job is having the right tools. But I've also seen and learned that rust ruins more tools than overuse does. You see, it takes more than just having the right tools. That is, having an opportunity with a great company. It takes applying and using the tools that they provide to do the job with. A few years ago, my mother leased out 2 hayfields to a man who harvested hay. They were the hayfields we used when I was growing up, but they hadn't been used in over 20 years. Well, that man went to work and spread chicken litter across both fields, and after a few months, when the hay began to grow, it became so tall and thick that you could barely walk through it. You see, greener pastures often have higher fences, and you may not need to be looking for a new pasture. If the grass on your side isn't as green as the other side, then fertilize your side. You might just be surprised how much of a difference it'll make. I heard someone say they were afraid to ask some people how things were going because they was afraid they'd tell them. We all have tough times that we go through and or going through, but think about this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. So don't find fault, find a remedy, and always remember the difficulties in life are intended to make us better, not bitter. You see, if you want to see a rainbow, you have to endure the rain. And we could all take a lesson from the weather. It pays no attention to criticism. And let us always remember that worry is like a rocking chair. It'll give you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. You have to take life as it happens, but you should try and make it happen the way you want to take it. If you have a hill to climb, waiting to climb it will not make it any smaller. And let us always remember, it's nice to know that when you help someone else up a hill, that you're a little nearer to the top also. And let's also remember, it isn't necessary to blow out the other person's light in order to let your own light shine. Ideas are funny little things. They don't work unless you do. For example, no farmer has ever turned a field over in his mind. You have to put your hand to the plow. And remember, the hard-working farmer will be the first to eat of the crops. And the best time to do something is between yesterday and tomorrow. You see, some people have the right aim in life, but they never pull the trigger. If you've tried to do something and failed, you're a whole lot better off than if you tried to do nothing and succeeded. And never say never. Never say always, and never give up. You see, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And let go of the past. Don't plan the future with a rear view mirror. And set goals, but don't set them in concrete. A goal is a dream with a deadline. The important thing about your lot in life is whether you use it for parking or for building. So don't count the days, make the days count. In conclusion, it's your life. Dare to dream with positive thinking, and don't let anyone derail your dreams. Take control of your life, because life is a vapor, here today and gone tomorrow. You see, some people tell you what you can't do, but I'm here to tell you what you can do, because I'm a can-do person. I've always been this way. When someone tells me I can't do something, it makes me even more determined to do it. Some people have success quicker than others, and that's okay. Always remember that inch by inch, anything is a cinch. I was a punter in college. Well, one night we were coming back from a game, and I was sitting in the back of the bus, and the fastest player on the team kept talking about how fast he was. I decided to mess with him a little, and I told him he was not all that fast, that I could even outrun him. He told me he'd give me 10 yards in the 100-yard dash and still outrun me. I told him he'd never even seen me run before, and that he didn't even know how fast I was. He told me he didn't care how fast I was. He knew how fast he was. He didn't say it with a cocky or arrogant attitude. He said it because he believed with everything in him that he could. You see, complete frustration is someone watching you do something that they said could not possibly be done. Whatever you do, never quit on yourself, and never quit pursuing your dreams. And surround yourself with positive people who, like you, have a positive mindset. Yes, dare to dream with positive thinking.